Hello and welcome back to the worst Warmachine channel on the internet. I'm Malorian and it's time for another Warmachine Weekly. Now for this show here, my patrons went and voted for this topic. They love, I guess, the Jank or Shank that I did last time. They want another one. That's the series where we go and we take some Jank, analyze it, and try and decide, is there actually some viability to this, or should it just be shanked and get rid of it type thing? Now, the actual idea for this one came from longtime friend of the show, AJ, and AJ sent in this here, which is really just Durgan Madhammer with Ogrun Assault Core. Not really a lot more in-depth type things, just that combination. So let's start off by actually reminding you what these things did, because if you're like most people, you have no idea what that caster is. You have no idea what that unit is, because they have both been highly unpopular for a very, very, very long time. I mean, especially the Ogrun Assault Core. So these guys here, you know, like, I know them because the person that taught me Warmachine years and years and years ago, Sean B, I'll put it that way, he loved dwarves, Rulik, and this was one of the parts, like this is one of the units you had. So I faced these things a lot when I was learning the game, and I kind of thought like these were like, oh, this is like a normal thing I'll be seeing. No, I never saw them again. Nobody runs these things ever. There was a short while where I wondered they were going to come back in Mark II because they were part of like a crazy theme, but even there, that didn't really bring it back. So what are these things that are hot garbage? Well, they're medium infantry, and you might think they're medium infantry, something like, you know, your Man of War shock troopers or something like that. Well, this is the mercenary version, and let's kind of go over what they are and why you don't normally see them. So Orgrun Assault Corps, they are a mercenary Rulik unit. They're speed 5, you know, like most medium infantry. Mat 6, Rat 5, low Rat. Let's hope they don't have any guns. They're defense 12, armor 16, whatever. They have 5 boxes, and then they have a slew of special rules. They have assault, combined melee, combined ranged, and also tough. Oh god. Okay, so they have some sort of gun because they have combined range. What is this all about? Well, they have a battle cannon. And what this battle cannon is a range 12, rate of fire 1, AOA 3, POW 12. So basically, like these Ogruns running around with bazookas, and they're going to be shooting these AOEs, but they're only Rat 5. That's always been a problem. Now, they also have melee weapons, and they're just like an axe. You know, like, as you do, you run around with a bazooka and an axe, because that's the normal thing you would do. And these axes are range 1, P plus S 12. Okay, you know, not really powerful, and, you know, they have combined melee, but with 1 inch and medium bases, it's kind of hard to do that. Like, maybe you can get 2, but the idea, like with halberdiers, you have like a combined melee of like 6 of them. No, that is never, ever, ever going to happen. Otherwise, that's it. You go to the back of the card, it's empty. It'll say that they're mercenaries that can work for Crucible Guard, Signar, and Protectorate, but why would they want to take them when mercenaries don't want to take them? It's just a weird mixed unit that has like this range gun that's not really all that great, and a combat that's not really all that great. This Jank or Shank is already heavily leaning towards the Shank. So let's see what we can do to save it. So let's talk about Durgan Madhammer. Now, Durgan has a lot of rules. Of course, it's a caster, but there's only a couple of very significant things we really need to talk about. And one of the places we should start is what the feat used to be. So what the feat used to do is basically say that you got boosted damage for your attack rolls to hit and damage if it's going to be going with an AoE. I can't remember if it was +2, if it was boosted. Either way, extra damage if it's an AoE attack. Sounds cool, except there's not a lot of AoEs in mercenaries whatsoever. I mean, sure, you could be taking the Earthbreaker, but the Earthbreaker was too many points, and you could be taking things like some of their jacks that have AoEs, but they're not really all that great. You know, there's just not a lot of ways to do this. Sure, Durgan himself has like an okay gun, but you don't want to do a feat just for your own shot. What else does this feat do? Oh, it gives yourself gunfighter. So, okay, I guess if you take a bunch of spray bunnies, you get engaged, you can then go and shoot them with the spray bunnies. Yeah, this was kind of weak. Like, there's some other cool stuff on here, you know, it itself had a gunshot. That's pretty cool. It had primed, which was pretty cool because it made something more powerful, but then if it died, it exploded. But then because now almost everything has reach, you could be like killing the model and far enough away that it doesn't actually do anything back to you. Yeah, Durgan wasn't seen for a long time because this stuff just didn't work. But with all these changes with the dynamic update, things have changed significantly to the point where this might actually be some actual viable jank. Now, the first obvious thing that we're looking at here with this is how that feat is going to be working with this unit. So now it says that you get +2 to attack and damage rolls with the AoE range attacks. So what that really means is that these Ogrins that were pretty trash at like Rat 5 and these weak guns, well, now those AoEs are going to be Rat 7, and if you ever needed to, you could always combine higher, and then also POW 14 guns. Well, that's respectable, right? That's actually okay. And the other nice thing here, too, is that that +2 to the AoE is to the whole AoE. So if you're shooting this into the middle of a unit, you know, normally it's POW 12, blast damage is 6. Well, now you add 2 to that and blast damage at 8? Okay, you know, especially with us expecting to be seeing more infantry now, has a lot better chance of you actually doing something. Even then, with all that, you know, like, is this really viable? You know, the Rat 7 could still fail you. Well, I think another part to be looking at this as well is that the Earthbreaker went down in points. It's only 33 points now. And again, you might not know what an Earthbreaker is because you haven't seen this thing in the table for so long, but it basically has this big AoE. It's going to be shooting at you. It's torpedoes, and it has multiple types of what you could be doing with them. One, you could be doing a crater, leaving a hazard out there, really. But the other thing is you could be doing quake. So 2 times you could be shooting this thing, again, +2 to hit, +2 damage, and then quake knock you down. And then once something's knocked down, oh boy, you can just really try and kill this thing off. So okay, that makes this a lot more viable. That even if we say like Rat 7 wasn't enough, because of the other changes here and what you're obviously going to be taking with Durgan, which is an Earthbreaker, that makes it even better yet. But even then, there's got to be better choices, right? Why would you be going with these Ogrun Assault Corps? Well, just like how the Earthbreaker went down in points, the Ogrins really went down in points. For a max unit of these medium infantry, they are now 9 points. That's it. For a max unit, less than 2 points per model for these, you know, medium infantry. That is insane cheap. That is throwaway cheap, right? Like normally, if you have a 10-point unit, an 11-point unit, that's great for like that one where like, hey, halberdiers, pirates, go get out there. And even then, that's like 11, 12 type thing. If you're going super cheap, okay, you have like Alexia and the Risen right now at 8. Well, here we have these where they're not just Risen. Like, we can laugh at those bazookas and axes, but those do better than Risen. And so this here is like, if that's all it did, if that was just something to be like a frontline throwaway unit, 9 points is so cheap. And then being something that also kind of like synergizes with your caster, yeah, why not? Now, there's something else here too that is also going to be helping with this, and that's actually going to be the fact that Durgan no longer gives gunfighter, it now gives dual attack. So the real dream here is that you have your Ogrun Assault Corps, You put primed on them, so that spell not only makes them explode if they die, it also gives them +2 to hit and +2 damage. So they're charging in at mat 8, then hitting at P plus S 14. Okay, doing some serious damage. And then while they're there kind of like blocking things up, this 9-point unit that just charged in for a big damage, well, now they're shooting whatever else they want. Maybe they're shooting some, support in the back. Maybe they're doing whatever, but they actually get to go and shoot those things as well, right? So, okay, charge in, hit this, and then, oh, what's that? You got some cultists back there? Boo! No, you don't have them anymore. Oh, that key soul over there? Boo! No, you don't anymore. And it's actually a little bit higher than this as well, because they also have assault. So with that assault, you are charging in with the primed, presumably, you are with that assault shot, getting that +2 to hit, +2 damage with your bazooka. Then you smuck them with an axe. So between that POW 14 shot and the POW 14 charge axe, the thing you're charging in is probably dead anyway. And then after that, with dual attack, you also get another shot. Like, this 9-point unit is doing work. Shoot coming in with assault, hit with an axe, and then dual attack, shoot something again. And if you wanted to, you could be taking 2 units of these. Now, if you do take 2, primes can only go on the 1. I mean, you could say like, oh, you can like hot swap them, but because of the feat, like you'd have to choose like either both get the feat or both get primed. So you can't really do both there. But I think that's still even viable, where you still might want these there, because for 9 points, that's a lot of synergy for what Durgan's doing. And again, if we also talk about, like, there's all the cuteness of like, I'm going to charge in and assault and hit and shoot something else. Well, there's also just the assassination potential that you are going to feat, maybe shoot at the caster, then you're going to go with the Earthbreaker, shoot at the caster, knock it down. Now these guys go and assault to get further in, and then they're going to be able to shoot the caster, maybe, like, get those long bombs in there. Like, this is something that for the points is fantastic. And then, of course, this is not the whole thing. Like, this is just really the Warjack points of Durgan pretty much covers the Earthbreaker. These Ogrun are just 9 points, or 18 if you take 2 full units, and then you still have all the other points of your 75-point army that can be doing whatever else you want to do. You want to have Forge Guard, you want to be going with the Battle Engine, do you want to be going with Drillers, Gun Bunnies, whatever other silly thing you want to do, you can go ahead and do that. And this is just a small piece of that overall package. So I think overall, if we're looking at this jank here, it's not crushingly powerful, right? It's not like, oh wow, this is going to go out there and win tournaments, but it is powerful. And I do feel that now, like, if somebody before was running, Durgan with Ogrun Assault Corps, say like 4 months ago, I would feel sorry for them. I would think that I was going to just absolutely wreck them. This is going to be an easy game. But now, in this new meta, where, first of all these things are significantly cheaper, now that the feat has been changed so that it is dual attack, not just the simple gunfighter, and now as well that we're expecting to be seeing more infantry on the table, yes, I think this is fantastic. I think Durgan, with these assault corps and whatever else you want to mix in there for flavor, is going to be fantastic. So this gives the thumbs up jank. We're not going to shank this one. So there you go. I want to know what your thoughts are. Did you actually know what Durgan was and what Durgan did? Did you know that Mercs actually had some medium infantry? And also, do you agree with my ranking is here of giving it actual thumbs up jank? Or do you think like, no, Malorian, this is still trash. Even if they're only 9 points, this is still not good enough. So please let me know, post down below. As always, I want to be thanking all my patrons for all their support and, voting for these topics. And of course, some of those out there, they are the content manipulators. We have their November videos coming as well, so look out for those. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later. Bye.